Hi everyone, good evening. So first of all, I would like to thank Vignesh and the other organizers for executing this tough task. Thanks a lot, Vignesh, for giving the opportunity as well. And at the same time, I would like to welcome you all once again. Probably from the morning onwards, you would have heard a lot of new things and a lot of stuffs around Microsoft 365 and what's happening, what are all the new things. Yes. So as a follow-up, now for the next 45 minutes, we are going to see how we can customize the profile cards using the Microsoft Graph. Okay. And usually I feel that the in-person events are more fun when comparing to the online, right? Like you will be having a lot of chance to speak or interact with new people and make a new connect. All these things will be missing today, and sorry for that. It's not our fault. Throughout the globe, everything is moving towards the online events, so we need to follow. Even if we feel it's very tough for the last 6 months making a lot of events, online events, and it is not as interactive as the live events,
Focus
like
on
in-person
just
events.
getting started with what Microsoft List is all about and giving you a window into all these different sort of enhancements and sort of focus areas that you will see more energy flowing into over time. So
Sorry, it's not
the
very
Share-
clear.
about SharePoint List. It has been around for many years now. So the good thing is if we already have domain expertise about SharePoint List and you have existing lists that are being used in SharePoint sites, so nothing has changed. Everything just works business as usual. Uh, However, those lists will actually go beyond the existing endpoints. They will be easily discoverable to users, and it will be much more easier to add data and visualize data both on existing list and the new list that one ends up creating. So this is just a rebranded, but really a
Hello. Hi, Vignesh. Is the previous session is overlapping or Vignesh?
No, I think somebody has wrongly joined. It's not a previous session overlapping.
Okay, okay. I saw there is some other session regarding the list. I hope Microsoft list it was.
I think
Okay, yeah, that's fine, Vignesh. So let's continue what we were discussing. Like we were discussing the about how difficult it was the online sessions, the virtual sessions basically. Yeah. So thanks. Beyond all these things, I could see a lot of people. First of all, I would like to thank for their passion and enthusiasm about learning and sharing new stuff. So that's the good thing. Let's jump into the session. So today we are going to see how a profile card can be customized. How many of us used know or know what is a profile card? Knowingly or unknowingly, we are using the profile cards every day. The best example is whenever you receive an email from your colleague who you don't know who he is, what you'll do, or any email, what I will do, what everyone will do. Basically, we will see there are two things we will see. Like, don't say no. This is what we will do, or more. Many of us will do two things for sure. The first thing, whether he address only to me or who are all in the CC or who are all in the two, who are all in the CC. That's one. That's the first thing. And the second thing, what we will do is, what is the designation or what is the employee ID from where he is sending, whether he sits in Chennai or he sits in Bangalore or he sits in Gothenburg or Gaithersburg, wherever it is in the world. We will be more interested on who sends us and what is his designation, from where he sends, what is his experience within the company, whether his employee ID. Most of us might be looking at the employee ID. We can judge, like if the employee ID starts by the series of 10, then we will come to an understanding he should be with the company for the last 20 years. If it starts with 20, he should be like 15 years. If it starts with 30, or if it starts with 6 or 7, we know that this guy just now he joined the company, right? So these are all the informations from a single email we wanted to know, and our reply is based upon this information, right? If I receive an email from a vice president and stating that I want this, what I'll do, I'll be replying back immediately. If I the same email from a different person who is like who is my subordinate or whatever it is, I'll not be that tensed and I'll not be that curious, or I'll not be so that active to reply for that email, right? Basically it happens for everyone, it is not only for me. So those informations from where we are seeing, that is what the profile card is all about. Okay, so with this brief introduction, let's see what is the agenda for today. So today we'll see what, like there are a couple of things I discussed about the graph and all those things, right? So we will have a quick walkthrough of all these things. Nothing will be very deeper, and it'll be about a brief introduction about the graph. What is a graph, and what is a graph explorer? What is a profile card? How we are going to customize the profile card, and what are all the references? And the last 5 minutes will spare for the questions. So this is what we are going to see. Yep. Hope we are clear. Okay. Like even in between, if you have any queries, please stop me and feel free to ask any questions. I'm happy to answer, because if it is going to be again, if it is going to be a one-way communication, it'll be very difficult for me all as well as for you to hear. Okay, so let's have a quick introduction. I have a couple of slides alone. This particular session, we are not going to deep dive into the graph. There are many sessions we deep dived, and almost at this point of time, 99% of the SharePoint developers, like Office 365 developers, might be using this graph for sure. Okay, graph is nothing but a set of API by which you can consume, or like we can do any sort of operation like a get, put, post, all these operations to build your own application. Build my own application in the sense, let us assume that I'm creating a web application, I'm creating a mobile application in which I want to show the user related information like the organization chart. So that organization chart I can pull who are all my reportees, to whom I'm reporting, and to whom my manager reports until the CEO. We can have the organization chart, and all this information we are able to pull using the API, the graph API, and this API will be consumed or called by my application, and the data which, like the data returns in the format of many different formats. Usually let us assume that it comes as a JSON format. That JSON data, I'm transforming my JSON, and we will be rendering based upon my requirement. So that is what the graph is all about. It's very simple. Graph is a set of API which requires, like obviously the API, making a call to the API requires a permission, and the sufficient permissions, like whether it can read or it can update or it can write or it can delete, whatever it is. It requires some sort of permission. Yes, let us assume that we provided the required permission, and that API will be consumed by any sort of other applications to do the actual requirement. So that is all about graph at this point of time. Okay, and this graph is capable, like it is capable to pull the data from three different areas. Either it is from your Office 365 ecosystem, the entire Office 365 ecosystem, and the entire Windows 10, even many of the activities and the notifications, you can push notifications within this Windows 10. All these things can be done by the graph API. And with your Azure Active Directory, like there are basically, it's split it into three different areas. One is your Office 365, number two is your Windows 10 operating system, and number three is your Active Directory. Let us consolidate within this three, like let's decide within these three pillars. Okay, and there are many more things like mail, calendar, contacts, task, channels, messages. All these things are accessible via the graph API. Okay, so there are a couple of points which we need to remember. First thing, what is a graph? It is nothing but a set of API, and which is capable to pull or push or push or put or post any sort of data within three pillars. What are those three pillars? One is the Office 365 and the Windows 10 and the enterprise mobility, and like it is nothing but the Active Directory. Let's make it as simple. Like let us remember it as the Azure Active Directory. And what are all the informations it can pull? It can put like the informations around the mail, calendar, contacts, and task. All these informations it can put. Okay. Basically, it is a single resource that proxies multiple Microsoft services. That's what the one-liner definition. It allows for easy traversal of objects and relationships, simplifies the token acquisition and management, eliminates the need to traditional discovery. I'll explain all these things one by one. What are all the things? The first thing, it doesn't have anything important. Like it is a single resource that proxies multiple Microsoft services. As I said, it is a group of API. It's a group of APIs. All the API starts with the graph.microsoft.com slash like it is based upon your tenant ID, but the entry point for that API will be always graph.microsoft.com and then slash me, and based upon after that there are a lot of things. Okay, allows for easy traversal of objects and relationships. This is what it's a very tricky line and it requires a few explanation as well. Like the name graph, how it comes, it the graph API, Microsoft, how they might have named it as a graph API, why they would have named it as some other name, right? So what's special about this graph? It's nothing but graph. It is a concept. It's a like all of us might be like whoever joined for the last 15-20 years, we were discussing about the only about the RDBMS, right? Relational data management system. And before that, there is a concept of the database, which is nothing but the graph database. People used to call it as graph database itself. And how the graph database, how the RDBMS is connected? It is, I have the parent table, I have the like I have the master table, I have the transaction tables, and the primary key is referred as a foreign key here. I'm making a like I can make an inner join or outer join to consolidate or concatenate all the data between various tables. So this is what the relational database management system, right? Similarly, the graph database, how it will be is, it will be a network kind of step. The initial entry point for the graph, let us assume that in my organization chart, I am the initial entry point, right? Whoever is logging into the mobile app, that particular object, that particular person is the entry point. And to see who are all my reportees, I can see my reportees, and all those objects, like all those answers, will become a separate object, and the same query will be executed against those objects to find their reportees. Similarly, from me, who's my boss, who's his boss, like that, the same call will be called, but the passing object will be changed. So that's how like it will have a network, and what are all the recent files which I am accessed, which I access, the object me, it is nothing but me. The me object will be on the center of the, sorry, any questions? Okay. So the me object will be at the center, and from there you will be able to traverse different objects. That's what it explains. Allows for easy traversal of objects and a relationship. Every object or every entity will have a relationship with the other entity. You cannot reach that particular entity. What you need to do, you need to always, the entry point will be either me or the organization. So from these two entry points, you need to traverse and identify the appropriate object. That's what it says. Okay, so with this, I hope we are clear about what is a graph and what are all the purposes, how we are going to use, like why I'm saying the graph, why I explained in detail, because we are going to use this graph to customize the profile cards. Okay, as a tenant admin, this requires a tenant admin privilege. Yes, of course, it cannot be done by the developer. It can be only done by your tenant admin. And as a developer, we will be able to know how we can explain our tenant admin to make this customization. That's the objective of this session. Okay, for this I'm going to customize. On the demo I'm going to use the Graph Explorer. At this point of time, many of us might be every day we will be using this Graph Explorer. I'm sure that we will be using the Graph Explorer, but again, for the sake, for the benefit of everyone, let's have quick walkthrough of the Graph Explorer also. Graph Explorer, it is nothing but the, like, it is a website or it is an application, whatever you can call, but it is provided by Microsoft. It is a free of cost. You can log in with your tenant, like you can log in with your credentials, and you should be able to execute all the APIs before you start using within your application. During the development time, either it is similar to your Postman. Many of us might be using the Postman, right? It is similar to the Postman, but it is having I don't find any difference between a Graph Explorer and a Postman. The only advantage is Postman is capable to query any sort of API, but this Graph Explorer, we restrict ourselves only for the graph related APIs. Okay, so it is having a, like, it is a bunch of sample queries, and based upon these query we can execute whatever we want. And let's execute one query. The response will be something like that. It is my profile in this particular tenant. So the display name, the given name, all these things will be listed. It has a lot of other things. I'm not going to explain all of them. Graph Explorer itself, it is having the capability to do a lot more. But one thing is, at this point of time, what we can understand or what we can remember is, Graph Explorer, it is similar to the Postman application, which will execute your Graph API. What we can do is, as a developer, we will frame the API, execute it on the Graph Explorer, get the response, ensure that you are getting the proper response during your development time. And once you finalize the API, copy this API and use within your application. Okay, that is the purpose of Graph Explorer. Okay, are we clear? And now let's come back to the profile card. Okay, profile cards. So as I said, what is the purpose of the profile card? It depends. My reply depends on the profile card. Okay, let's have some other mail. Okay, so let's have this example. So what is the purpose of the profile card? My reply depends upon this profile card. Like my reply depends upon the other people's job title. That's not the right one. I would say, like, it will help you to know the other person who sends, who's within the organization, who you'll be wanted to know few more information about the other person, right? So that's the purpose of this profile card. So this is the simplest view of the profile card. What you can do is, I'll go to the show more files, go to the contact. This is what the detailed profile card looks like. This is how a detailed profile card will looks like. By default, you will have all your email, chat, work phone, company, job title, all these things, it will be pulled. And if at all I want to add a few more information, say for example, it'll be great, right, if you can see in almost in every organization, this is how the profile card will looks like. The contact information, the job title, the location, apart from this, the location and the work phone, and something like that. I don't see many more information about it. But what if some organization, let us in our organization, let us our CEO decides, like, in the profile card we will add the highest degree, and the degree from which university the university acquired. So these two informations, it will not be there in Active Directory. It is not there in Active Directory. Let us assume that it is not there in the Active Directory. But within my M365 ecosystem, I want to show there are a couple of things. For an example, I have marked it as a cost center. Like, along with the cost center, I want to show the highest degree. and the university from which we acquired the degree. So these two information I wanted to add here. So that's the purpose of customizing the profile card. So first thing, we have seen what is the profile card. This is what the profile card looks like. What is the purpose of the profile card? We know what there are various purpose. There are many good purposes. Whatever I told, it is not the right example. I just want to ensure that we, like, many of us, 99% of us will be doing the same thing. So this is how a profile card looks like, and it is nothing but it has been called in different names. It can be called as a profile card, it can be called as a contact card, it can be called as a people card. There are many names for this. And the default profile card information, what are all the things we have? We will be having the profile photo. Yes, I have the profile photo here. Okay, the contact information, yes, I have the contact information, and the organizational info, such as who is your manager, or if, how many people are reporting to you directly. So all these things will be having here. Yes, about here organization, yeah, people reporting to me, who work with you, all those things you will be able to see here. And people you collaborate with, recent email messages, upcoming events. Like in recently you can see the LinkedIn profile also, like provided you provided the access for it. Like, say this is what my LinkedIn profile, it has been associated with my tenant, show more from LinkedIn. So all these things are the default information. So along with this default information, if at all I want to show few more things, what are how we can see, how we can show that. That's what the objective is. So there are two things. Either along with the default stuff, we, like, there are 6 attributes which we can make it as visible. In the sense, it is nothing but already these informations, like the user principal name, fax, street address, postal code, state or province, and the alias. These 6 attributes, the default M365, it is capable, it is having this information. And as a developer or as a tenant admin, we are going to make this 6 attributes visible. That's it. So I made one attribute as visible, like I'll show you. This alias is what I made it as visible. Initially, till yesterday, it was only the 6 information. And even if you didn't fill the job title, or if you didn't fill the company name, it will not be there. I can show you some other user, for intentionally I didn't fill those information. Okay, so I didn't fill those information. No, this guy I filled. Yeah, let me take the other guy. Okay, in my tenant. So in my tenant, the, like, for Sham, for the user Sham, I didn't fill any other information like the job title or company code. So for him it will not come. And I made this alias, like whatever the changes which I'm making, whatever the thing which I'm customizing, it will be applicable throughout the tenant users. So that's the reason this alias, it's coming for Sham, it will come for XYZ, whoever it is there in my tenant. All of them will be able to see this. Okay, so this is what the additional attributes. And the custom attributes, I'll show you the custom attributes. How there are two things: one, the standard call, and the number two, the custom call. Okay, custom attributes. So the standard attributes, as I said, what are all the standard attributes? These 6 items are the standard attributes. Okay, how we can execute this? It's very simple. Let me call the, like, let's have a quick demo how we can do this. Okay, what I'm going to do, this is the beta API. What I'm going to do is, let me go back to the Graph Explorer. Okay, yeah, this is what the demo, right? Okay, go back to the Graph Explorer. As soon as I paste, it will become the beta, like it is on the beta, right? And here, this is what the API URL, you'll be able to get this on the reference materials or within this slide itself. And the body, what I need to do is, alias I already executed. Let's try to show the fax. Many of us might not be okay. The postal code, let me take the postal code. Okay, Okay, directory property name is the postal code, and this is what my API looks like. I'm going to do the post. Yep, let's execute it. You should get a 200. Yep, that's what it got executed. And the only tough task over here is we may not be able to validate it quickly, because many of us might be knowing, even if I change the profile pic, it's not going to reflect for my colleague immediately, right? It'll take a minimum of 24 hours. So that's the purpose. That's the reason here also. Even I added the postal code now. If I go immediately and try to see my profile card, it will not be available. Like it will take 24 hours for the postcode to reflect here. The postcode will be reflecting or will be added here. Like you can see there is a boundary line. So like below this boundary line the custom attributes will be there. Above that the standard attributes will be there. Those along with the default standard attributes, I am going to add the alias and the postal code. I added the postal code now. And one more thing is, like unless until the added, these are all the few drawbacks I would say. It'll take 24 hours to get reflect. So that's one thing. And point number two is, especially with this particular API, just now we executed the command for the postal code, right? Until the postal code reflects here, you should not execute it for this state or province. Okay, so let me tell you in detail what I am trying to say is, okay. So I just now we executed the postal code, and immediately before this postal code gets reflected on the screen, or before 24 hours, if I execute this also, it will, so like as of now it will show 200. The query will get executed successfully. But what happens is it's not reflecting both the postal code as well as like both the postal code and the state or province, this information, nothing is appearing. Why? Because we need to wait until the postal code gets appear here. That's one of the drawback. Yes. And yeah, similarly, that's one thing which we have to. Similarly, let us assume that I want to add few custom attributes. As I said, the school studied, or the degree, like let me call it. Okay. Custom attribute, I'm making it as custom attribute 3. Give me a minute. I'll explain you from where these informations are coming. Yep. What we can do is highest degree. Okay. Okay. So all of us are able to see that, right? Initially, it was only the directory property name, but now what we are making is the directory property name will be custom attribute 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 15 attributes you can add. It's the upper boundary is 15. Beyond that you cannot add, because beyond that your contact card will not looks nice, right? So that's the reason. Only 15 custom attributes you should be able to see, and there are only 6 additional attributes you can make it visible. So that's the high upper limit. And here, if like I'm going to show add the third custom attribute. Yes. And the annotation, I'm giving the annotation as highest degree. Then how it will be appearing? It will appear here. Like let's take a print, like MS Paint. Okay. Since because it is not reflecting immediately, we need to do all these things. Yeah. So what it will do is it will be something like, bear with me, it will be the postal code, and the answer for that postal code will be something like 600,024, something like this it will be. Okay, and the caste center, along with the caste center, what we are going to do, highest degree. Yep, it will be appearing something here like BEME or whatever it is. Okay, it will be appearing something like this. Okay, what we are going to do, let's execute the second query. Even if it is not going to reflect, I wanted to execute this and I wanted to show you guys. So always the directory property name will be custom attribute 1 2 3 4. You can see that, you can ask like why it doesn't have a meaningful name. Yes, it doesn't have a meaningful name, but we can give the display name as a meaningful one. Okay, that's why this annotation and the display name we can show. Okay, let me run this. Okay, it is also executed. Perfect. Now it will start appearing tomorrow, it will start appearing here. Right, so let us see from where this custom attributes are coming from. For that, what we need to do is, as a tenant admin, I'll show you from where it is coming. Let's go to the admin center. Let's go to the Active Directory, select the particular user. Now, before that, let me remember one thing, like this is the first thing is cost center, second attribute is school studied, and the third attribute is the highest degree. Perfect. Okay. Let's go to the mail, go to the exchange properties. Go to the more options. This is where the custom attributes looks like. Edit this. The first attribute, what we said, it is the cost center. Yes, the cost center can be Chennai Development Center, whatever it is. The custom attribute, school studied, I put my school name. And the third attribute is highest degree, or what we can say, we can call it as, okay, the college studied or university studied. So here, to make it meaningful, I'm updating this. Okay, let's save this custom attribute, save completed successfully. This custom attributes will be listed here. As a tenant admin, you should be able to update, like there we can write, it's not going to be a time consuming or a manual work. Practically it is not even possible for 50,000 employees. If I say go to the custom attribute as a tenant admin, if I have been assigned with a task like all the 50,000 employees, update the custom attribute 5 with their date of birth, with their highest degree, whatever it is, like this GDPR and the personal information security, I'm not coming to that point. Whatever it has been agreed within your organization, those information you can add it here. And again, it is not the manual activity. For this also, for this activity also, by using the same graph API, we were able to update the custom attributes, or we were able to add the custom attributes. So this graph API, by using a simple console application, you can have a custom attributes of all the employees, like 50,000, 60,000 employees in a CSV format. This console application, it will read that CSV and update your custom attributes, the corresponding, based upon the corresponding employee. It can update the custom attributes by using the graph API. Right, graph is a very powerful tool by which you can do any sort of work. Like today, since it is the scope, today's scope is how to customize. So that's the reason this custom attribute creation, I showed you how manually it can be done. So in future, this can also be automated, like in an actual implementation, not in future. In the actual implementation, this can be automated. Yeah. So that's these are all the two calls. This is how we can customize the profile cards and the demo visa. These are all the references from which you, like, it's very new. Many of the organization, it is not at started, it got released by the month of June, July. I hope, probably I hope that the initial documentation itself, it came around July, since it is only a couple of months. And all of us know that this API itself, it is in the beta now. It's not at the production ready beta API, like it's not at production ready API. So it will take a couple of months. We are expecting this to be a production ready API by this year end. After that, only the organizations will start implementing this. At this point of time, you can try using this API. You can try these reference links. You can have a lot of information like whatever we discussed. Only those sort of informations are presented in this references. But don't try to implement this in the production or in your organization tenant level. In your dev tenant, you can start implementing it and get to know how it works. Okay, that's the objective of it. So with this, we are done. I don't have anything else. Like, thanks for your patience, guys. And Vignesh, thanks once again. Is there any questions?
Satish, I have a question here. It is very just I wanted to know. Can't we use this Graph API with the on-premises environment? I don't know, right?
No, of course you can
SharePoint
use this.
SharePoint on-prem.
Of course, you can use it with the on-prem environment also, but it should be a hybrid environment.
Hybrid environment.
But predominantly Graph is targeting,
Yes,
but as you said, predominantly Graph is targeted only for the M365 environments. Like even in our organization, we are not using Graph for any of the on-prem environments.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Guys, any questions? Vignesh?
Hello, this is Anand.
Yes, Anand.
Yeah, so whenever we update the profile, it will be applied across the O365 tenant, right? So that in wherever I am, whenever I see the user profile, then all the parameters, all the attributes will be displayed, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
I could see Girish Kumar. Girish, you raised your hand.
Yeah, again, Anand here. So even if I search in the SharePoint, these attributes will be available in the search, right?
Yeah, I asked the question. No?
Sorry, Anand, I didn't get it. So what I'm asking is, so even if in the SharePoint, if someone was search for the people, and then whenever my profile is available in the SharePoint, I can see these custom attributes, whatever the profile I have updated, it will be displayed, right?
Yes, Ananda, the same question even I was having. I explored something like by using the Graph API, you can create or delete or update your custom attributes, but still the search, it is not displaying for me, at least for me, it's not displayed now. Like even if I search for Sham or if I search for Surya, what I could see is I'm able to see their profile, but on the profile, this attributes, the custom attribute, whatever I created, those attributes, it's not coming. Probably I need to explore on that. The same doubt I was also having, because there is a difference between the custom attribute 1, 2, 3. That is how internally it got saved. But on the display, on the profile card, we are giving a different display name and we are showing in the value. Right. So these two parameters, like the internal name and the display name, how it got related with the search API. Like as of now, I don't have any clue on that, and I'm also exploring that one. Let
Okay,
me
not an
find.
issue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Satish, sorry, I have a similar question. So in SharePoint profile, we have a profile information, right? So this custom attributes, it's related with the SharePoint. Otherwise, the SharePoint profile attributes is entirely different. Because in SharePoint, we are using people web part, app part, right? So that app part contain the this people card also.
Correct.
So